We don't have any other requirements now. We just require water and electricity to be hooked. More than 300 owners already live there, just like me. This building was bought after we got married. At that time, my husband and I went to relatives to borrow money, and the parents of both parties scraped together the money to buy this condo. It was said that the condo would be delivered in the second year, but it's been 10 years since then, and I haven't moved in yet. I bought this condo for my son to get married. He has dated 4 or 5 girlfriends successively. The girls all came happily, but all left when they saw an unfinished building. Now my son is not married yet. What we bought is 24 floors and 80 square meters. I climb up every night and go back down in the morning. It takes an hour to walk back and forth. I bought it when I was in my 50s, and I'm 62 and haven't lived in it yet. For many Chinese families, they can only afford one house in their lifetime. The nightmare for Chinese families is to spend their savings only to buy an unfinished building. Unfinished building refers to a housing that was stopped in the middle of construction and the developer went bankrupt maliciously. In China, tens of millions of people have fallen into such a predicament, and there are more and more such lawsuits. However, due to collusion between government and businessmen and judicial corruption, it's difficult for home buyers to protect their rights. Today, we will talk about the topic of unfinished buildings. The number of unfinished buildings in China is staggering, and officials have never released relevant data. According to a report from Nomura Securities, as of the end of 2022, the number of uncompleted pre-sale houses in China was approximately 20 million. For example, the Chinese real estate developer Evergrande Group, which is deeply in debt crisis, has left behind 1,300 unfinished buildings, including 1.62 million units involving 6 million owners. Many families have emptied 6 pockets to buy a condo, which means that not only the couple's money is spent, but the parents of both spouses also invest all their savings to help buy one. However, what they got in exchange was rough concrete rooms with exposed wires, and all the savings of a family or even 3 generations were wasted. Buying a house in mainland China is very different from that in Taiwan. When buying a pre-sale house in Taiwan, if the developer maliciously goes bankrupt, the homeowner will only be compensated 20 to 30% of the purchase price at most, because the mortgage will not be processed until the house is delivered. However, once a pre-sale house is purchased in mainland China, the buyer starts to pay the self-preparation and mortgage. If the house is unfinished, the buyer still has to pay the bank mortgage according to the contract. Otherwise, he will have to go through legal procedures. The owner who bought an unfinished house said he no longer had the courage to live in it. Now we have to pay $700 a month for a mortgage. Working class people like us can only earn $560 forever, and we have children. If this unfinished building continues to rot, then for me personally, I really don't have the courage to live in it. My husband and I drove downstairs and counted which floor we bought. We hope that we can move in as soon as possible, but the construction is suspended today. We want to talk to the developer about resumption of construction, and they cannot deceive us again and again. Behind every unfinished building, there are countless bitter stories. The owner paid the full price of $210,000 but could not get the home. He went on the streets to protest but was labeled a thug by the authorities. Living with the rest money, I'm afraid to be sick, and I don't even dare to see a doctor if I'm sick. Why? We bought the condo in full, in cash. I took $210,000 to buy a condo. If the developer refuses to deliver the goods to me, he will be fined. I protest on the street, then I am a thug. Is this justified? Do you think there is any heavenly principle? I also don't want to be on the streets, and I don't want to be a bad person in my daughter's eyes. How am I a bad person? I just want to buy a condo with $210,000. I pay you the money, and you should deliver me the condo. Just like when I buy a bottle of water, I pay you money and you deliver me the water. I am a legal citizen. Is there anything wrong? You have so many reasons. Who took my money? We paid the full amount. This single mother bought an unfinished condo, and because she was unable to pay the rent, she had to move her 2 daughters into this condo. Today is the 46th day of moving into an unfinished condo. In March 2021, I purchased a condo in Country Garden, Linyi City with a mortgage. The condo should be delivered on January 31st, 2024, which has paused construction. It has been postponed for 9 months. However, I have not received an extension notice. As a single mother, I paid my mortgage, which I could no longer pay the rent. In desperation, I took my 2 children to move into a rough room on the 22nd floor of an unfinished building with no doors, windows, water, or electricity. The elevator originally used for construction stopped on the day we moved in, and the water for the lawn has also stopped long ago. When the water from the nearby park was not allowed to be used, it doesn't matter, I can go further to get water. The 3 of us are now used to climbing to the 22nd floor every day. The gate of the construction site has been locked for more than a month. The children go to school by walking through the muddy path by the construction site daily. The afternoon the gate was open and someone was finally starting to build a road on the construction site. I hope the developer will carry on construction and deliver us a warm home as soon as possible. Those civil servants who sit in offices, please stop coming here to drive us away. The developer promised to deliver the condo countless times, but failed countless times. The last delivery date they gave us was December 30th. We look forward to living in it on December 30th. This family of 6 also lived in an unfinished building with no water or toilet upstairs. The senior is 75 years old. If he wants to go to the toilet, he has to come down from the 11th floor. Which floor are you on? We are on the 11th floor. Which floor are you on? We are not from here. Get some water. If you don't get water, there will be nothing to eat. How long can this water last? How long will this bottle of water last? 1 bottle is not enough. How many times do you do this a day? One day there are 4 buckets behind, and the old man is carrying them. Look at our room. They are too old to climb out of it. It's been 10 years since we bought this condo. The mortgage from the bank is $560 per month, and then the grandson will have to spend money to go to college. Excluding the tuition fees, the child's monthly living expenses are $210, which is fixed. Without money, he will go hungry. If you don't pay your mortgage, then they will stop it for you. Then you have to rent a condo for $280 a month. My son is working. Can he cope with it? Yes or no? There is no other choice but to live here, climbing up and down in this rough building every day. That's it. There is no other way. I am talking about one man who raised a family of 6 by himself. There was 1 in college and 1 in elementary school. The 2 old ones like us couldn't do the work. He has to pay the mortgage, the rent, and the money for his children to go to college and primary school. Where do you think this money comes from? I have no choice but to live here. I can save as much as I can. How else will I live my life? Just don't starve to death or sleep on the street. I am 75 years old now. I climb stairs all day long and I have to go to the park to use public restrooms. I have to carry water every day, come up to eat, wash my face, and wash the pot. This is how I maintain my life. I am an owner of an unfinished building in Da Nul Arc in Kunming Economic Development Zone. My husband and I came to Kunming from the countryside to work hard and spent our life savings to buy this condo, which is unfinished. Many owners are homeless. They already move in and live without electricity or water. I have no choice but to carry water up like this every day. There is really no choice. Is this all you eat? Yes, there is no way. There is no water or electricity. I spent all my family's money to buy this condo, but now the condo is unfinished. They need to resume work as soon as possible. We have to carry water since they didn't hook water or electricity. Could a lifetime of hard-earned money from me, a laid-off worker, have been wasted? China's real estate crisis has intensified, and the problem of unfinished buildings has become more and more serious. In many places, owners of unfinished buildings have protested in front of local governments. However, the relevant departments of the Communist Party turned a blind eye. They spent all their power and resources on preventing people from petitioning and suppressing them, and never reflected on the lack of supervision. On September 5th last year, in front of the Anzhou district government in Mianyang City, Sichuan province, the owners of unfinished buildings held a banner to petition and were violently treated by the police. The owner's banner read, "No help, only go on streets to defend our rights, hoping that the government will solve this. The unscrupulous developer return our real estate certificate and our hard-earned money." During the owners' protest, a group of police officers came and pulled the rights-defending owners into the car while one female owner was pushed to the ground and was suspected of being injured. The scene was chaotic. These are the owners of real estate in Zhejiang province defending their rights in front of CITIC Bank. The reason is that CITIC Bank transferred money illegally, which caused the real estate built by Evergrande to be unfinished. The owners shouted slogans, "CITIC pays back the money." On the same day, a large number of owners of unfinished buildings defended their rights in front of the Beihai municipal government in Guangxi. They held signs and shouted, "We want to meet the party branch secretary and ask for housing." The owner's t-shirt read, "Beihai government, please make fair decisions for the people." During this period, the owners and the police were pushing and shoving. One owner sat on the ground and cried bitterly, "Why don't you take care of the people who cheated us of money, but bully underdogs like us?" A video on August 31st last year showed that the delivery of a property built by Evergrande Group in Changchu City, Henan Province was delayed, triggering protests from owners. During this period, many owners were taken away by the police. There are many videos on Chinese social media of unfinished building owners crying. Surprisingly, a real estate owner in Changchun City in northeast China posted a video on February 15th this year. He said in tears that it was not his fault that the building was unfinished. He said that the reason is the local gangsters forcibly extorted 70 million from him.
我是来长春投资的江映华。
I am Jiang Yunhua, who came to Changchun to invest. This is a real estate developed by me. In 2011, I invested in and developed real estate in Chaoyang District, Changchun. It was mostly completed in 2016, but currently the owners are still unable to move in. I'm sorry for you. I feel very sad. The reason is the Changchun gangsters. They blocked the construction site, smashed the office, seized the building, and threatened and intimidated me to take the project, extorting construction fees, forcing loans, and extorting high interest rates. They also violently collected protection fees. They extorted 70 million from me. This is not a small money. Any official with a sense of justice can help me. Is it true that no one can control these evil forces that bully and dominate the market? How can I explain this to these homebuyers? I can't fight against these evil forces alone. Can anyone help to let these homebuyers move in? Thank you.
他们那时候走，那位齐天大老爷救救我吧！
The video went viral on mainland Weibo, sparking heated discussions among netizens. Some netizens said, the gangster who dares to extort 500 million yuan is not an ordinary gangster. It seems that the background is very tough and protected by a big guy. The local police may not be able to shake them. The developer's cry resonates with Chinese netizens because many Chinese people know that China's public security, proctorate, and court systems are deeply colluded with local evil forces. They will use unreasonable usury to persecute the owners of private companies, and then the courts will enforce the freezing of projects. The court will cooperate and keep delaying, and the boss will owe sky-high interest that keeps rolling in. The result is that the boss's project is eaten up, and he will go bankrupt or even go to jail. Red China is not a legal society. The rule with the Chinese Communist Party characteristics makes everyone a victim. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a message, and share it with your friends. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.